Centuries have passed since the blades cooled and the banners were folded, yet the land still remembers. In the narrow alleys of Harar, where stone walls breathe the scent of coffee and prayer, the call to dawn rises like a memory returning home. Above the minaret's balcony, a muezzin's voice sails over rooftops. The same voice, the same faith, the same resilience carried by Imam Ahmad and Fatima bint Mahfuz. Time has softened the scars, but sharpened the legacy. The echoes that once guided armies now guide hearts. And as the first sunlight paints the ancient city gold, history steps forward not with war, but with worship. What was once fought for in fire now rises gently in the Adhan. Before the city wakes, Harar rests beneath a soft veil of mist. The ancient gates, Asmadin Bari, Sukutat Bari, Falana Bari, stand like guardians who have forgotten sleep. A breeze carries the smell of roasted barley and the distant hum of footsteps preparing for Fajr. The sky bruises from indigo to pale rose, and for a moment, the whole city feels suspended between centuries. It is in this quiet hour that the legacy of Imam Ahmad and Fatima bint Mahfuz is most alive, not in monuments or manuscripts, but in the calm faith of a people rising to greet their Lord. As the light spreads across rooftops, Harar seems to whisper, "We survived, we remembered, we rise." The city is quiet as the muezzin steps from shadow into pale morning light. His hands trace the cold stone of the minaret staircase, fingers brushing grooves carved by centuries of callers before him. Each step feels like entering a memory, one built by imams, warriors, scholars, and mothers who kept faith alive when kingdoms collapsed. As he ascends, the wind carries whispers from distant ages, hooves striking earth, pages rustling in madrasas, Fatima's voice urging unity, Ahmad's cry for steadfastness. By the time he reaches the balcony, he is no longer alone. He carries the weight of all who came before and the hope of all who will come after. From the minaret's height, the muezzin looks over a city shaped by two souls whose footsteps still linger. Imam Ahmad, whose resolve shook empires, and Fatima bint Mahfuz, whose wisdom stitched broken nations together, are gone in body but alive in breath. Every alley, every archway, every heart in Jugol remembers them. Their story is not one of conquest alone, but of conviction. A leader who fought for the right to worship freely, and a queen who healed as fiercely as she defended. Their courage became the soil where Harar's faith took root. Their love for their people became the drumbeat of its survival. As the muezzin inhales, preparing to release the first note of dawn, silence settles across the city like a reverent cloak. The Adhan he prepares to deliver is the same melody whispered through Harar for over 1,000 years, unchanged despite siege, fire, famine, and foreign ambition. It is the call that rose when Ahmad rode into battle, and the one Fatima heard when she led women in prayer at the city gates. When the muezzin's voice finally breaks the quiet, it rises not only from his lips, but from generations of guardians who protected this faith with ink, blade, and sacrifice. The sound becomes a bridge from past to present. The Adhan rolls through the alleys like warm breath, brushing across carved wooden doors and the painted archways of old Harari homes. Shopkeepers pause mid-preparation. Mothers lift their children. Elders glance toward the sky. The city reacts not with surprise, but with affection, as though greeting an old friend. These streets once echoed with the thunder of boots and the clash of faith, but today they answer with stillness and gratitude. Every stone holds a story of warriors who prayed before battle, of scholars who memorized volumes by lantern light, of Fatima gathering women to rebuild after war. Harar drinks the sound deeply, like a heart remembering its rhythm. Far below the minaret, children run across a courtyard, their laughter mingling with the fading notes of the Adhan. They know nothing of empires that rose and fell, nothing of the firestorms their ancestors survived. Yet they carry the legacy effortlessly, in the confidence of their steps, in the sacred words they recite, in the respect they show those older than them. One little girl pauses, lifts her face to the minaret, and whispers a soft Amin. In her eyes lies the quiet truth that the greatest victories are not written in chronicles, but in the survival of faith from one generation to the next. As the final echoes of the Adhan drift away, the muezzin lowers his gaze. Harar glows beneath him, a mosaic of rooftops, courtyards, mosques, and memories. This city endured wars, betrayals, invasions, and hunger. Yet it stands unbroken, its identity carved as deeply as the stones beneath his feet. Here, Imam Ahmad's vision still breathes. Here, Fatima bint Mahfuz's compassion still shapes the community. The muezzin steps back from the balcony and whispers a prayer, not for victory or power, but for continuity, that Harar's flame may burn long after he is gone, carried by voices yet unheard, rising from minarets yet unbuilt. The war is distant now, its heroes returned to the earth, but their legacy stands louder than any sword. In Harar, faith overcame fire, unity outlived fear. As the sun lifts fully over the city, the Adhan's last note lingers like a blessing stretched across centuries. Imam Ahmad gave the horn its roar. Fatima gave it its heartbeat. Together, they left a gift time could never erase, a nation whose strength comes not from conquest, but from remembrance. And as long as one voice rises from a minaret, the echo of their story will rise with it.